everyone, welcome to the show. My name is Amanda Ostrander. I am a teacher-turned-homeschool mom, and this is Raising A to Z, a place where we talk about all things homeschooling. And today I'm going to talk about what curriculum we're going to be using with my second grader next year. So next year, Zoe, my youngest, is going to be in second grade. That is going to be very exciting. And that's going to be my baby. My baby is in second grade. So what am I going to be doing with Zoe next year when it comes to curriculum? What are we doing for math, language, all of that jazz? It's going to be a little bit of a mix. She's kind of a mix. We're kind of just seeing where we're heading. So let's get into it. So let's start with math because math is the easiest. She is currently working on level 2 of master books, math lessons for a living education. And because we homeschool all year, I'm thinking that by September, maybe October, she will be done level 2, which means we will be getting ready to move into level 3. And so I have purchased level 3 of math lessons for living education. And for sure, this year went with the Practice Makes Perfect bundle. So you can get both of them together. Ordered these from the Learning House. Practice Makes Perfect is fairly new. It came out, I want to say a year, maybe 18 months ago. And so when I ordered stuff for Alexi last year, it wasn't available. Then I needed stuff for Zoe. Zoe has actually been using the Practice Makes Perfect level 2 for a good chunk of this year and has been loving it. It's just kind of a nice little extra. And so when there's a skill she needs a little bit more help on, there's extra pages. I don't have to go look for stuff. I just open the book, flip through and find, oh, this is multiplication, or here's some division questions, very addition questions, not division. She's not dividing. So it's very easy to find what I need to help her and support her. And so this has been excellent support to go along with the textbook, which we love. I have a full review on Master Books, why we love it. I will put the link here. We just love it as it is both a gentle and complete approach to math. It's not overwhelming. If your kids get it, you can easily move on. And now that they have the Practice Makes Perfect, if you need more support, you have it here. And so that has been nice. It's also kind of given me, because that was something that I sometimes struggled with in terms of the timing of things. So how do I say this? Sometimes you're not ready to start a new lesson. So for example, if we're doing on Wednesdays when we have gymnastics in the morning, I'm hey, we're going to do math and we're going to do something before we leave. We don't have time to do a full day's worth of school, a 2-hour school block, but we're going to do a 1 hour or a 45 minutes of school. And so I'll pull out math because it's easy. I can just open it up and she'll get to work on it. And I'm oh, I don't really want to do a whole new math lesson. And so I'll be oh yeah, well, I'm not ready to get into something new today. So that's been a nice thing to have this extra practice book for, because I can find stuff we've already done in the book and have it be a refresh day or a review day, so that when we come back to it on Thursday, I can start a new lesson fresh when we actually have time and we're not on a time crunch. So that is another nice thing about having this second book. So we have been loving this math lessons for a living education. We are going to continue. The only thing I need to do with this is get it spiral bound. So that will be on my list. I have a couple things that need to spiral bound, so I will do that. That's math. We're excited. We're moving on. Language arts is where things are just a little bit tricky in the sense that she is progressing, but she's definitely not what would be considered grade level. And she's still struggling with a few things. Some of it is her hearing speech issue. Some of it is she's just a little bit slower than Alexi was. So still trying to support her in that way, but find things that are moving her along. So here's what we're going to do. We are currently still working on All About Reading and level 1. And I plan on continuing the All About Reading level 1 until we're done the level. At that point, I think we're going to leave All About Reading, not because it's not a great program, but I think we're going to move on to something a little bit different, because I'm finding she is I find the level 1 is a really great starter, and I'm really happy to continue doing the level, finish the level 1 with her. and then move on and see if she can just read naturally and focus on continuing just getting her reading. Because it's a very expensive program to purchase. And I find from my experience teaching and working with kids who are reading, once reading clicks, you're kind of just moving ahead. And that's what happened. We happened with the All About Reading with Alexi. We got about 4 lessons in, and then it clicked, and then she was gone, and we would have finished the entire program in like a week. So I'm seeing it start. She's starting to get it, and it's starting to click. And I think that by the end of the summer, it will have clicked. And so we're going to continue using it as long as we have it as a support. And then I think we're going to move into using just having more focus on just like actual reading books and making it a bit more of a holistic reading approach rather than such a phonetic approach. Not because I do love phonics, but I do think I just want to start moving something maybe a little bit less structured and like working that way. That's a very complicated way of saying we're just leaving it all about reading to just keep reading. Really, that's all it is. And then we are going to move on to chalkboard publishing because this is what I've done with Alexi, and now I'm going to do it with Zoe. I have the daily language skills. I also have on order the spelling and the phonics. The phonics is the one that I really push because I find that's such a great support. It's kind of supporting us when we're doing all about reading, and it's showing us on paper a lot of the all about reading concepts a little bit differently. And so she's really connecting with the phonics approach of chalkboard. So I think that's kind of why we're going to move towards that, in a sense that it's something paper and pencil for her to do a little bit more. She's able to like break things down a little bit differently. She's seeing the connections. She likes the activities a little bit more. And she just likes it better. So we are going to, like I said, we're going to be doing the daily language skills, phonics, and spelling. Grade 1 spelling though, because we still have that. She never actually did that. So we're going to start the grade 1 spelling, but all with the chalkboard publishing. They just haven't come in yet, unfortunately. And I wasn't waiting to do another 2 weeks for it to come in. So, I do like this because it is very short lessons. So typically a day of work can be 3, maybe sometimes 4 questions in the chalkboard publishing books, which hits right at Zoe. Zoe does not have a very long attention span. And I kind of do like that we can do a little bit and then move on. I also like that it covers a wide variety of topics. So like typically Mondays are like sentence and punctuation. So you're all doing like sentence structure and punctuation. Tuesdays is grammar and usage. Wednesdays is vocabulary and figurative language. Thursdays is phonics, spelling, and word skills. And then Friday is like a writing prompt. So we're covering a lot of different things a little bit at a time. And I think that's why I really like this. And then the phonics I really like because it does cover a lot of like blends. It covers a lot of letter sounds, and it breaks them down in a way that makes sense. But it also is like a lot of activities kids find engaging, like matching, a lot of like word searches, things like that. And so we're going to continue with the chalkboard publishing. My ultimate goal for Zoe though, this might be too much, but my ultimate goal is to eventually get her by the end of next school year, maybe March, April, May, June kind of time, get her into, as long as she is reading decently. And we've kind of, if we have done that, if we've like made the reading click and we are reading well and like flowing through, like I really think she's on the verge of, then I'd like to start doing Brave Writer with her as well. In my last video, we were talking about what I'm doing with Alexi in her 4th grade curriculum. I talked about how we're doing Brave Writer and how I love it and blah, 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 blah. My ultimate goal is to eventually have them doing Brave Writer together, like both doing Brave Writer because it is such a all-encompassing program. And so ultimately that would be my goal, is to like move away from and just focus on the Brave Writer. And the nice thing about Brave Writer is you can very easily scale it back. And so for example, if one of the passages is like, oh, this is a passage we're working on, it's 4 sentences long, Zoe can work on 2 sentences instead of all 4, or things like that. Like, it's very easy to like just scale it back to her grade and her age, provided that she is a all okay reader by then. That is my ultimate goal, is to get her into the Brave Writer. We're already doing Brave Writer a little bit with her, in terms of she does all of the, she listens to the stories, like the Brave Writer book, the read aloud. She does all of the questions. So the reading comprehension questions, the reading discussion questions, like all of that she does with Alexi and I. And she brings up a lot of great ideas. So like, she's understanding all the concepts. It's just the reading and writing part that she's not quite there yet for. And I think giving her, 9 months from today, 10 months from today, would kind of get her, I'm hoping, to be able to do a little bit more in the Brave Writer, and then eventually just move her in with Alexi, possibly for the following year, and just have them both doing Brave Writer together. That is my ultimate goal. We will see if that happens. It might be a little bit of a lofty goal, but I think we can get there. For French, I have told Zoe that starting in September, she is going to start Duolingo in French. She is not happy about it. And I say that because it's the funniest thing. Zoe has no interest in French, despite the fact that she comes from a French family and all of her family members on my husband's side speak French to her. And that we speak French to her. She has no interest in actually learning French. She sounds a little ignorant sometimes because she goes, "Speak English. Speak English. I don't know what you're saying." We're like, we talk to you in French all the time. Like we break it down and we're pointing, and she's just like, oh. So that being said, she is desperate to learn Spanish. Why? I have no idea. She loves the idea of learning Spanish. And so I am going to give her the option. Sorry, how do I say this? I'm going to allow her to learn Spanish, but only if she also takes the French lessons on Duolingo, because she can do Spanish and French at the same time. It's free. It's the same thing. And just, I said, as long as we're doing that and we're getting the French first and then Spanish, I think that would, she has agreed that that would be acceptable. And so that is the goal of us, is to like move in the same direction of using Duolingo and just introducing her to that platform. And I think she's going to enjoy it when she gets started. And I'm hoping that it makes her like French a little bit more. I'm hoping that, like, cause she's just a stubborn kid when it comes to learning French. She just doesn't want to do it. And so I'm hoping that maybe by having some external motivators, such as iPad time to do it, the leagues where you get to have like earn points and rankings and all of that, I'm hoping that will like motivate her as well, without me being like, hey, you need to speak French today. Like, come on, we're going to try this. So that's what we're going to do for French. So she's going to learn French. She might also be learning Spanish and might prefer it. She's currently running around speaking Spanish and talking about vamos and platanos and gato, and she wants to watch shows in Spanish. I don't know. The kid just wants to learn Spanish. So I said, you can learn Spanish if you also learn French, and they're kind of connected, so that'll help you. And she's like, okay, I'll do it. So that's what we're doing for second languages. Apparently she's learning French and Spanish. I don't know. We're just going to roll with that. In terms of Phys Ed, we are going to continue doing what we're doing in terms of like activity classes. The kids love their gymnastics class, their homeschool gymnastics. Over the summer, we're going to do like some soccer and swimming and all of that, which I think maybe it's like swimming lessons. But in terms of like Phys Ed for next year, definitely gymnastics, and definitely possibly jiu-jitsu. We will see how the schedule works. But they started jiu-jitsu on like a trial basis based on the recommendation of a few friends. And when I say Zoe loved it, it was the understatement of the year. Zoe was so excited that she got to wrestle someone to the ground and try to pin them. She thought that was the greatest thing that I have ever let her do in her entire life. She came and it was just a sweaty mess when she left the class. And she is just like, that was amazing, Mom. That was amazing. And I was like, oh, okay. So yeah, Jujitsu is going well. She loves her gymnastics class. I love that they're both homeschool classes, so they're during the day with other homeschoolers. So there's like a connection happening there as well within the like homeschool community. So that's kind of going to be our Phys Ed push for next year. For science and for history, social studies, geography, all that, we are going to continue our unit studies approach and pick specific topics and get unit studies or make unit studies that follow that topic. And so if you want to know what those topics are, you're going to have to wait until next week when I discuss in specific what unit studies we're doing, because there's some really cool unit studies. They have some really, my kids come up with cool topics. I can't even say it. So we have some cool ideas for next year for topics for history and social studies and science. And so we're going to do that next week. I'll tell you all of that next week. And then finally, the only other thing that we're going to be doing in terms of curriculum next year, what I consider curriculum, is girl guides. We have been doing girl guides for a couple years, and Zoe is officially old enough. She will be an Ember next year. She's a Spark this year. She will be an Ember next year, and Embers and up can actually earn badges themselves. And so she will be officially able to do that and earn some extra badges on top of what her troop members are earning. And so that's what we do with Alexi. Alexi earns anywhere from like 4 to 5 badges a year. And it's kind of like a independent project that they have to do. It's 3 steps, 3 different things they have to do. And so Zoe will be old enough to do that. And she is just chomping at the bit to be able to earn some badges. She's already picked out some badges that she's thrilled with and wants to do so badly. And so that is what we're going to do. She's going to do that next year. And it's kind of nice because it gives them some ability to have a little project and work on something independently, because like parents are supposed to do very little in the project, and let her kind of explore some different things, work on a project, and then I don't grade it or anything. It just goes right to the guider and they determine, yes, you've done all the things, or you need to do this to earn the badge. And so there's that. She's excited. And I like that it's kind of like an independent extra bonus that they get to work on. And I don't have to grade it, which is nice. So yeah, that is my plan for grade 2. Like I said, with Zoe, it's a very much there's a bit of a going with the punches, going with the flow to see where we end up by the end of next year. I think we're on the right path. And I think this is just going to be what works for us and for her for next year. She's also going to be continuing with her speech therapy. So like that's another factor in why we're kind of on this going with the flow path, because it's very hard to teach certain skills when you can't make the sounds and you can't hear the difference between the sounds and all of that. So we're working on it. We're going that direction. We're always moving forward, which is always my goal when I'm teaching my kids, is to see improvement and growth. And that's what we're doing. Just always taking a step forward. And that's all I ask for. And yeah, so that's what we're doing for grade 2 next year. Thank you for watching. Make sure you guys are following along, subscribed, click the bell, all that, so you find out when I put out the video for like our topics, my plan with me videos, all of that is coming up in the next few weeks. Make sure you follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. And I look forward to talking to you guys next week. See you guys later. Bye.